Why was Billy Porter shading Harry Styles? What is the fake horror movie going viral on TikTok? And why is ChatGPT now facing bankruptcy? So Billy Porter is taking aim at Anna Wintour and Harry Styles after the cover of Vogue magazine where he was featured wearing a dress. In a new interview, Billy opened up about his feelings concerning Harry being the first solo male to grace the cover. He said he had talked to Anna Wintour months before the cover was released, but was taken aback by their editor, who apparently asked him, "How can we do better?" And he said that he was so taken off guard that he didn't say what he should have said, which is that Vogue needs to use their power to uplift the leaders of the degendering fashion movement. But 6 months later, he said they still put Harry on the cover. Billy acknowledges that he doesn't blame the singer for it, saying that it's not technically his fault that he happens to be white and straight and fit into the infrastructure that way. But Billy did say that he was selected because he's white and straight, and that's why he was on the cover. He went on to question Harry's sexuality and gender identity, saying that he feels he's using the queer community to elevate himself, but that he hasn't had to sacrifice anything. And this is not the first time that Billy has criticized that Vogue cover. Back in 2021, he said, "I feel like the fashion industry has accepted me because they have to. I created the conversation about non-binary fashion, and yet Vogue still put Harry Styles, a straight white man, in a dress on the cover for the first time." Again, he claimed that he was not dragging Harry, but said that he simply doesn't care and is just doing it because it's the thing to do. He would later go on to apologize for mentioning Harry and say that the conversation was not about him, but it was about the systems of oppression and erasure of people of color who contribute to the culture. And later, during an interview on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, he said, "I'm sorry Harry, I didn't mean no harm. I'm a gay man, we like Harry, he's cute." Though he also claimed that he personally changed the whole game. Quote, "I personally changed the whole game. And that is not ego, that is just fact. I was the first one doing it and now everyone is doing it. I created the conversation and yet Vogue still put Harry Styles in a dress on their cover for the first time." Now it's easy to see where Billy is coming from, considering that he's spent years making waves in the gender-fluid fashion world, and famously arrived at the 2019 Oscars in a Christian Siriano blazer dress, which kind of broke the internet at the time. The next day, the headlines described his grand entrance as a cultural moment. He described that feeling and said, "That was a moment that changed everything, not only for me but for the entire world." These days, Billy is best known for his starring role in the TV series Pose, which is about drag queens in the 1980s in New York. Growing up, Billy said that he was told by both allies and haters that his queerness would be his liability, and he said it was like this for decades. But in the end, he feels that you find the drive or you die on the vine, so he chose life. But at the same time, he also wasn't the first and only celebrity to ever push the envelope of gender binaries. And in that way, the criticism towards Harry does feel a little misdirected, because this is something that he's been hearing for several years now. He's specifically been accused of queer baiting, seeing that he hasn't labeled his sexuality or gender identity, even though he's only publicly been in relationships with women. In his own interview, Harry said, "Sometimes people say, you've only been with women, and I don't think I've publicly been with anyone. If someone takes a picture of you with someone, it doesn't mean you're choosing to have a public relationship or something." He said, "Am I sprinkling in nuggets of sexual ambiguity to try and be more interesting? No. In terms of how I want to dress and what the album sleeves are going to be, I tend to make decisions in terms of collaborators I want to work with. I want things to look a certain way, not because it makes me look gay, or it makes me look straight, or it makes me look bisexual, but because I think it looks cool." And maybe, just maybe, that's all the reason that he needs. Now, have you heard about the fake horror movie going around called Zepotha? Well, if you've been on TikTok over the past few days, you might have come across a few videos talking about the forgotten 80s horror movie. Zepotha has seen a huge resurgence on the platform recently, with people flocking to the comments to talk about how much someone looks like a certain character from the movie. Comments like, "You look so much like Danny from Zepotha," or "You remind me of Maxine from Zepotha so much." All of these comments have been popping up all over the platform. But the film has now caused mass confusion, since there are so many people who have no idea what it is or who those people are, because it's not real. It's completely fake, and it doesn't exist. Zepotha is just another one of TikTok's elaborate inside jokes, kind of like the Grimace Shake trend or Goncharov. The fake movie was originally started by a musician who goes by the name of Emily Jeffrey. In a viral TikTok, they wrote, "What if we created a fake 80s horror movie called Zepotha?" and started commenting, "OMG, you look exactly like insert character from Zepotha. Together we will witness new lore develop, main characters will emerge, and we can convince thousands of people that this weirdly titled 80s horror film actually exists." And that video now has over 880,000 likes and 4.7 million views. Thousands of people are playing along with the joke, and the comments have started spilling over into other random videos that have nothing to do with the subject. People have been urging Emily to delete their original video so that people who come across Zepotha videos in their feed don't discover that it's all completely made up. But so far she hasn't done that. A handful of Zepotha characters have have already been named on TikTok. The ones we know about are Danny, Elaine, Emma, Sophie, Ray, Jane, and Maxine. There's even a TikTok filter that tells you which Zepotha character you are, alongside photos of random people. There's also countless fake scenes that people can't stop talking about, like the opening scene and the forest scene, which has been dubbed one of the best scenes in cinematic history. Fake Wikipedia pages have been created, a fictional sequel is currently in production, and it's now been established that there was an original novel series that the film was based on. On the platform, you'll find a lot of fan art as well. Even some celebrities are getting into it. Wizards of Waverly Place actress Maria Canals-Barrera has hopped onto the trend. She posted a video explaining how much she loved the movie back in the day and how much her daughter looks like Elaine. In Emily's original post, they used one of their own songs from their upcoming album called Do You Remember Me, which now has been used in over 9,000 TikToks, all relating back to this fake movie. Emily has been labeled a marketing genius because of how much attention this prank has given to their music, and it is really one of the best ways to get more exposure. For people familiar with this trend, it's drawn a lot of comparisons to what happened with Goncharov, which started as an inside joke on Tumblr, but then the fictional movie made its way over the internet and it eventually went viral on TikTok. Everyone seemed to agree that it was one of Scorsese's lost masterpieces of mafia cinema. The movie stars Robert De Niro in the lead role as a Russian hitman and former discotheque owner. It takes place in Naples, Italy, and it has everything: murder, a love triangle, homoerotic undertones, a striking visual score, and a dramatic final scene that film buffs have been debating for years. The story of Tumblr's beloved fake film began with a shoe. Several years ago, a Tumblr user posted a photo of a pair of knockoff boots that they ordered online, which arrived with a strange tag that said, "The greatest mafia movie ever made. Martin Scorsese presents Goncharov." Then in August of 2020, Aveline McIntyre, a college student, reblogged the image on her personal Tumblr with the comment, "This idiot hasn't seen Goncharov." And that was a pivotal moment that set off one of the biggest chain reactions Tumblr has ever seen. The post gained an insane amount of popularity as hundreds and thousands started to reblog it and add their own story onto the inside joke. Within days, there was a huge fandom for the film, which has an ever-expanding cast, multiple plot lines that many people can agree on, gifs, fan art, and even pseudo-essays from invented academics, which have been published in Unreal journals. Eventually, Goncharov became the #1 trending topic on the platform, with Mr. Scorsese taking the second spot. It went so far that there was an entire universe created to support the idea that Goncharov is real. Obviously, a lot of people didn't understand this phenomenon or why people want to be a part of it so bad. But the thing is that the internet has fostered a culture that loves an inside joke and a little bit of improv storytelling. And since the movie is technically not real, everyone can be correct, and no one really has a say over what is or what isn't true. Another reason is that the internet is a place of pure absurdity. Creating a whole film and its history based on a single piece of fan art that was made as a joke should feel weirder than it actually is, but it's not. People love it because it's a massive collaboration on a group project. And now moving on, is ChatGPT actually bankrupt? It was only a few months ago that OpenAI made it to the headlines for creating ChatGPT, their famous AI-based chatbot. ChatGPT harnessed the power of AI and gave us a chatbot that could reply to questions in the form of natural conversation that was a lot more acceptable to humans. The entire world could not contain its excitement, and predictions of ChatGPT taking over the world and stealing all our jobs started doing the rounds on social media, which is why people were very surprised to learn that the maker, OpenAI, is predicted to go bankrupt before the end of 2024. They have reportedly seen a consistent decrease in users on ChatGPT during the first half of this year. Statistics show a drop in users from 1.9 billion in May to 1.7 billion in June, which decreased even further to 1.5 billion in July. And their financial losses have also been huge. They have reportedly doubled to around $540 million in the previous year. This is because the operation cost of ChatGPT is insane. It has an estimated daily expense of $700,000, and even the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, admitted that this was an eye-watering amount. Despite projecting an annual revenue of $200 million in 2023 and aiming for $1 billion in 2024, OpenAI is now grappling with its escalating losses and staring bankruptcy right in the face. Its survival is pretty much relying on that $10 billion investment from Microsoft, which is their key backer, and if they're unable to secure more funding, well, that could be it for them. So what is going on? Some people have speculated that the decline in users could be attributed to students being out of school, while others have said that users have started creating their own bots instead of relying on the original ChatGPT. Experts believe that one of the key reasons for the drop in users also has to do with OpenAI's business model. OpenAI is a paid, proprietary, and restricted platform that just doesn't cut it for all kinds of clients. Most businesses now prefer moving over to open source, large language models that allow them to modify the code. In this way, way, Meta's version of Llama 2 is a lot more popular. Created in conjunction with Microsoft, the Llama 2 is often claimed to be a better option for businesses because it just offers them more freedom to customize the model and get better outputs. Additionally, the ChatGPT AI plugin has also encouraged businesses and individuals to build their own bots instead of using the original offering. Aside from competitors though, ChatGPT has also faced a ton of issues recently. Not too long ago, it was shut down because of a bug that exposed users' chat histories to other users. The titles that were exposed could be seen in the sidebar on the left, which typically shows you your own chat history. To a lot of people, this issue was an unpleasant reminder that we need to be very careful with what we type into ChatGPT, because one of the biggest concerns these days is privacy and data security, and when we don't have that, we cannot establish trust as users. So what do you guys think about this latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.